we're two shy guys, aren't we?
Is that how we
build
ourselves?
Yeah, shy guys wear shirts like this. That's how it works. So you were talking about shyness and how new games has kind of helped you.
Well, yeah, I previously explained how it was so difficult for me to get in front of a group and be able to present anything. And you're just like, oh, I was really not very comfortable doing that. But with games, my own self-interest is involved, and I really, want to be able to share this with people, and so it gets me past that, past my own shyness, past my own inhibitions, past all of that, to be able to do it. And it's got a carryover factor in that now I can get up in front of a group and say something or make a presentation or whatever. I really, as a younger person, I would avoid that like the plague. It really was not something I was ready to do or wanted to do, or it would caught me doing. But after playing new games and after presenting new games and presenting workshops, I got confident enough to be able to do that in not only new games but other areas.
It sounds like almost the power of giving, isn't it? That you want to give the joy of new games to people, and that helps you overcome your reticence in a sense.
Yes, and well, having learned how to do that in that situation, I think, well, gee, if I can do it in presenting games, why can't I do it in talking about global warming or whatever I want to talk about, or climate change, and because I do feel passionate about those as well, and I want to share my ideas or what's going on about this, and to be able to talk about that with groups. And if it was talking about widgets or something, or if I was trying to sell soap or I don't know, anything, I don't think I could do it in front of a group, or it'd be harder because I don't believe in it so much. But if for things I care about, I can get up and talk about them.
And in the previous video, we talked about the grid. So in the workshop,
yes, that's right.
You send people off with the idea of old people jumping underwater or whatever
skipping.
it is.
They were skipping.
They were skipping, right. But I'm curious about what, you could just, okay, we're going to be old people jumping underwater, and that sounds like fun, but what does turn that into a game?
Well, if it's just skipping, but if it's just old people skipping underwater, that's not a game in itself. I mean, okay, it might be just a, I don't know what it is, maybe an exercise, but it's not a game. You have to introduce an element yourselves into it that makes it a game. So, okay, if old people are skipping underwater, you need some other thing, like, for instance, oh, there's a shark, so that old people have to skip away from the shark and not get caught. And then that's the beginning, that's when it starts to become a game. Well, once an old shark catches an old person, what happens? And, well, they have to figure out what that is. Does that person become a shark too, or do they get, do they just become the shark then, and the other person becomes an old person? They have to figure out what happens and make it into a game.
So it sounds, it's a very creative process, and it sounds like, although you have principles that define what a new game is, there's an infinite number of games.
Yeah,
new games.
Yes. What I won't accept is if the old person gets caught by the shark and they're out.
Right.
Never out.
Right.
We find ways to keep people in, so that's where it varies from maybe old games.
Right. And one of the things I wanted to get across so we're having a workshop, and hopefully you'll come along and learn how to lead new games, and what that kind of means in terms of how different things will be once you know how to lead new games. So we talked about being able to put them on in the park, or run local games, or run games for businesses and that kind of thing. But it is that feeling of being able to bestow joy upon a room full of people. It's almost like being a DJ, but yes. Being physical.
Yeah. Well, yes, and part of that joy is like seeing the group to begin with, and they're looking kind of stiff, and like I had mentioned a few videos back, but people being uncomfortable and not knowing what's coming, and then seeing that transform before your very eyes as they're doing the games.
Well, it's a pretty strong superpower in a sense. If you can kind of turn up to a room and get get the joy flowing and loosen everybody up. I mean, that's a superpower.
Yeah, and well, in the training you'll learn how to do that, and it's not just, you don't have to do everything perfect, because the games themselves carry their own gravitas or get people involved. But if you can somehow explain the game and get people trying it, it has its own energy. So you don't have to be super great at communicating or anything. It helps, of course, if you are, but if you are somehow able to communicate the game and get people going, then it'll start to work. It'll start to give you confidence to be able to present other games.
And it's a secret as well. No one will know that you have this superpower. You'll just have it in you, and then you can bring it out whenever you want at parties and family gatherings.
Yeah, sometimes people, I know when I've interviewed for some work to do new games and sometimes I'm very reticent and quiet in the interview, and people say, well, are you sure you can do this? And well, they don't really understand, and that once I'm in front of a group, I kind of like come out and blossom, and maybe then in the interview I have to come out a little bit for them to see that, but normally I'm not that expressive as I am even now, but rather shy and retiring.
And we have somebody who's thinking of coming from California to this kind of.
That would be outstanding.
He's going to bring his family for the weekend in Sheffield from California.
Yes, why not?
And come and learn new games.
Beautiful
and
Sheffield.
One of the things he's got the new games book, the original book, and uses stuff in there to adapt games for special needs outdoor adventure groups out in California. So that's pretty special.
That would be amazing if he does come.
Don't. I mean, the weather's going to be a lot worse than it is in California. Don't do it. But
expecting if you do, sunshine, you'd be lucky.
And somebody else from California as well said, how do you? This is Jeanette. How do you handle it when people judge the games as silly and act disinterested? Like they don't want to really. You walk in and how do you kind of get people?
Well, they are silly. Let's face it. But it's okay to be silly, and what your job is to get people past that reticence. And again, I think I explained when I had these teenagers in Buffalo, New York, to get them to try it. Say, I see you're being a bit resistant. That's okay, but if you just try this, I'm pretty sure you'll like it. But give it a chance. If you give it a chance, okay. If you still think it's silly, you don't want to participate, all right, that's fine. But just try it. Just try it. That's all I'm asking. And once they give it that chance, almost invariably it works, and they're drawn in. Sometimes people will sit out for a while, and what I then do is make sure I invite them every now and again, just to let them know. They think, oh, I said I didn't want to do this. Now I can't join. But if you let them know, it is okay. Like, oh, would you care to join us now? You're welcome. You're welcome. You can if you like. So it makes just to create the atmosphere where it's good to join, and it's fun. Because it is fun.
and we talked about this before, and I was thinking about like the philosophical arguments for joining in, and you were like, no, it's just try it. Just try it. Just yeah,
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, we coax people to join, but we never try to force anybody, because
No.
frankly, that doesn't work. You know, like, oh, come on, just come on, you know, just give it a try, you know. But they say no, okay, you know. Well, if you change your mind, you know, you're welcome to join later. I never will force anybody, because they'll just be resistant and it'll bring the whole game down. So. And it's good to know. I don't always want to join things when I go places and say, oh yeah, come on. Well, wait a minute. You know, I want to kind of get the lay of the land here and see what's going on. And I don't want to be forced either.
No.
I want to be able to make the choice. And so I think that's important to give people that choice. And
Yeah, absolutely. It's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
And respectful.
Yeah.
Cool. So one last message. Tom Matucci says, can I become a trainer? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have to come to the training course, but yes, you can. And a trainer's slightly different to being a new games leader. Is that
Yes. The workshop on April 21st, 22nd is to teach people to be new games leaders, so you can go out and lead new games with a group. A trainer is somebody who trains people to be leaders, which is me at the moment, but we will be doing that later in the program down the line when we've got enough people who are new games leaders. We will then have a workshop to train trainers.
Yeah. So so hopefully we'll do the Sheffield workshop for leaders. Tentatively, London, Edinburgh, Cardiff kind of thing this year, and that will give us a group of people who are like you, who've been through the training, or like prospective you, and then we can create the kind of community, and then next year is out to America and get some people there.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So let us know what you're thinking, and go and buy a ticket for the 21st of April. All right.
Immediately, if not sooner.
Absolutely.